Remember when former President Obama said this?
Because of the service and sacrifice of our brave men and women in uniform, the war in Iraq is over. The war in Afghanistan is ending. Al-Qaeda is on the run. Osama bin Laden is dead.
Well, 6 years after Osama bin Laden's death, Al-Qaeda boasts branches all around the world, as you can see right there, even recruiting radicals here in the United States. So is the group more powerful now than ever? Joins us the man who killed Osama bin Laden, former Navy SEAL, Rob O'Neill. He is the author of that fantastic new book out just a week. It is called The Operator. Rob, good morning to you.
Morning, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so one of the things we're noticing is the State Department issued a travel alert for all of Europe, highlighting terror threats during the summer travel season. They're trying to scare us. Obviously, the terrorists are, and the State Department simply saying, look, they're still out there and you should be worried about them.
Yeah, and they're doing the right thing, because we don't need to be worried about it, but need to be aware of it, that a lot of this radical extremism has reached a lot of parts of Europe, and you've seen it with the attacks at Westminster. They've happened all over France and parts of Europe. So the terrorists haven't necessarily gone anywhere. There's definitely a threat there, and I wouldn't discourage people from traveling to Europe, but I would just say, don't be afraid to be aware of what you're doing. Just be your own best friend. Like, look around.
We've seen maps, and we just had one up where Al-Qaeda's influence is, and we have also seen maps where ISIS is located, and it looks like their territory is diminishing, which means if the ISIS land is getting smaller, they're going to have to go somewhere, and the worry is
they already are moving somewhere. With some help from our coalition partners, we've taken out places like haven't taken out Raqqa, Syria yet, which is their de facto capital, but the leadership from ISIS has moved out of there. We took Tabik, we took a lot of their major places, so they are moving. And now it's interesting because Al-Qaeda and ISIS are talking about talking. They are the.
You mean teaming up?
They might team up because of the same ideology, and even Ayman al-Zawahiri, who's the head of Al-Qaeda, has said that the jihadis need to get together against the Westerners and the Alawites and the Shiites and just the invaders, basically.
Al-Qaeda's always been good at hiding. You have been, from your career, good at finding them in hiding.
Yes.
So how do we find them?
Well, they've been good because they have what they call them fronts, but they've got thousands of fighters already in Syria, and they're smart about it. They're better at not attacking Turkey because they know Turkey's a gateway to the West. They're better at waiting for the large attack where ISIS is calling on people not even to come to the supposed caliphate. Just stay where you are, use a knife, which you've seen them do, use a vehicle as a weapon, which you've seen them do, both most of the time. But Al-Qaeda, they can lull you into a sense of complacency, and that's where they're going to get you. They want the big attack.
They do. Al-Qaeda has historically been all about the spectacular thing that, you know, they love it when it's just gigantic, and there's a lot of bloodshed, unfortunately. But to your point, you know, it can just be a guy with a knife. It can just be a guy with a car, as we have seen, sadly, over the last year.
And that's what they want, too, because that's why the threats are put out. That's why they say be careful where you go.
But it's also so easy.
Oh, it's very easy, too, and it also proves the point that it's not the gun that's the problem, it's the intent. It's the radicalization of this form of Islam that's a big problem in a lot of places. And it's spreading, too. The caliphate might be shrinking, but the jihad is growing, and it's spreading into India, it's spreading into southern Asia.
And that's why the State Department wants people to be careful this summer.
Always be careful, yeah.
All right, Rob O'Neill, his brand new book is called The Operator, because he was the operator.
I was one of the operators. That's the life of the operator.
Indeed. All right, Rob, thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve.